Today's WNEM TV5 Morning Extra is brought to you by Roof Max of Midland.
Thanks for joining us for TV5 Morning Extra. Remember, if you are watching on YouTube or Facebook right now, like, follow, and comment on the stories that matter most to you. I'm Lauren Piesco.
And I'm Christine Winter. Let's go to First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro. Look at really cold temperatures plus wind chills.
Yeah, Christine, Lauren, the cold weather definitely still the big story, this Arctic blast that we've been having here. Now, this morning we do have a cold weather advisory for Roscommon, Ogama, and Iosco counties. That goes until 10 o'clock this morning. I do think it's very possible we see another round of these advisories again for tonight, possibly for even more of mid-Michigan as well, because tonight with a low of just -5, that's the low, not even the wind chill tonight, we could end up seeing this being the coldest night of the week. Wind chills this morning, though, sub-zero. Some areas like Harbor Beach or even Oscoda, -20 for that wind chill as of right now. But we will see wind chills eventually back up to about 4, maybe 5 at the most for the afternoon today. So again, no matter what, it's going to be a cold day all around. Bus stops this morning, students will want to have all the cold weather gear ready, and we've had some flurries moving through this morning. There's also a few more flurries in the forecast for the afternoon, but like yesterday, anything that falls will be pretty light and pretty isolated too. But with these temps that are below freezing again, this now marks day number 12 in a row here for below freezing temps. So the last time we were above freezing was Saturday the 17th. We will be talking a little bit about that Snowfest forecast too, and the 7-day coming up in just a bit. Lauren, Christine, back to you.
When the snow really hit and the temperatures really dropped, it definitely, the accident shot right up.
Right now, Genesee County 911 is seeing a surge in emergency calls. One dispatcher tells us the agency received more than 500 calls for crashes alone in just the last 6 days, which is well above average, saying that a single crash can lead to a ton of calls.
When you get one crash, you don't just get one call, you get multiple calls. Every call taker is taking a call on the same crash, and when we're dispatching it, you're getting update after update after update because people are still calling it in.
Central Dispatch handles calls for 31 communities across Genesee County.
Developing this morning, investigators need your help finding a missing woman from Harbor Beach. Take a good look at your screen. Police are searching for 36-year-old Shauna Umbright. She's around 5'6" and 150 pounds, last seen in the Harbor Beach area on Friday. She was wearing a green jacket, a white sweatshirt, blue jeans, and brown boots. If you have any information on her whereabouts, call the number on your screen to contact authorities.
People living in Genesee County's Davison Township are invited to a special board meeting later today, and it's to focus on the proposed construction of a new township hall and police station. The architect company will share information and help answer some questions. That meeting starts at 6 at the Township Municipal Building on North Irish Road. Still unfolding, we now know the identity of the man who was killed in a Saginaw shooting. Investigators say 41-year-old Jose Barrera of Saginaw died Tuesday on 12th Street. Police say a person is in custody. No other information has been released, but stay with TV5 for updates.
After 12 days of testimony, court proceedings have come to a close in a lawsuit against the state. This was brought forward by victims of the 2020 dam failures in Midland and Gladwin counties. According to an attorney representing victims, the next step is for both sides to submit briefs outlining their key findings and arguments to a court of claims judge. That judge will then review the submissions and issue an opinion. The attorney expects that will happen in the coming months.
The state Senate has unanimously passed legislation that works to crack down on human trafficking. A state senator from northern Michigan says the bills would increase current penalties for human trafficking from a 10-year and/or a $10,000 fine to a 20-year and/or $20,000 penalty. Trafficking a child would be increased to life in prison and/or a $50,000 penalty. That bill, the set of bills, now heads to the state house.
And in continuing coverage now, a state Supreme Court case could change a long-used tactic to help catch child predators. It involves the Genesee Human Oppression Strike Team, or GHOST, working with the sheriff's office in Van Buren County. There, a man was convicted on felony charges after agreeing to meet a 15-year-old girl for sex. However, that girl was a decoy in a sting operation. Investigators say the man began texting with her after responding to an ad on an adult escort site. He agreed to meet her at a hotel where he was arrested. Now, lower courts have upheld that conviction, but the man's attorney argues the sting crossed the line into entrapment.
An entrapment is defined as police creating a crime and then going out and inducing people to commit it, which is exactly what happened in this case.
In a statement, Genesee County Sheriff Chris Swanson says GHOST has worked diligently to arrest human traffickers and hold them accountable. He adds, however the court decides, GHOST will continue to follow the law.
All right, happening tomorrow, the Genesee County Sheriff's Office will be honoring victims and survivors of human trafficking. A candlelight vigil is planned, and that's as Human Trafficking Awareness Month comes to a close. This is an annual event that includes the GHOST team that Lauren mentioned, along with the United Way and the PRISM Project, which provides resources for child survivors. The candlelight vigil is open to the community. It starts at 4:30 tomorrow in the lobby of the Genesee County Jail.
Across Michigan, the lawsuit filed by Brenda Tracy against former Michigan State University football coach Mel Tucker has been dismissed. Tracy, an advocate for sexual assault survivors, sued Tucker in October of 2024, more than a year after he was fired from MSU for cause after an investigation showed he harassed her during a 2022 phone call. Now, Tracy's lawsuit claims Tucker intentionally tried to ruin her image and broke a contract for speaking arrangements following that call. A separate lawsuit she filed against Tucker still remains under consideration by the Michigan Court of Appeals.
Happening today, early voting for the February 3rd special primary election in the 35th State Senate District continues. You can cast your ballot in person at the Saginaw County Early Voting Center on Cass Street next to the courthouse anytime between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. through this Sunday, February 1st. Now, the county clerk says voters can scan their ballots into tabulators on site. The results, though, will not be released until after 8 on election night, February 3rd.
The Early Vote Center is open to all registered voters in the 35th Senate District. So no matter if you live in Saginaw Township or Cotchville Township, whichever part of the 35th, we can service you here.
Now, if you vote absentee, you can hand deliver ballots to the clerk's office. You can put it in a drop box or the early voting center or polling place to be tabulated. Now, Bay and Midland counties are not offering early in-person voting for the special election primary. But again, primary election day is this coming Tuesday, February 3rd. Election day is May 5th. You are watching TV5 Morning Extra Live. We are going to take a quick break.
But when we come back, stay with us. The demand for data centers on the rise in Michigan. Why one group is urging caution from lawmakers when it comes to that decision making.
Also, remember, if you are watching us on Facebook or YouTube, maybe catching a clip on Instagram, go right now, take a quick second to like, follow, and comment on the stories that are important to you. Matthew has that first alert forecast and chilly temperatures and wind chills. Stay with us.
This Arctic blast remains the big story in the first alert forecast here for the next couple of days. And even for today, we're on paper here, even colder than yesterday, only about 12 degrees for the high. Again, no matter how you slice it here, it's going to be cold all around for today. Even by the afternoon, wind chills only up to about 4 or 5 degrees. Now, normally our high temp today would be 29. It's 30 in Flint. It's 26 in Houghton Lake. So those are those averages that are calculated based off of all of the temps that we've recorded, say, for any given day of the year. Now, 29 has been the average high for almost 2 weeks now. January 14th to February 4th is technically actually the coldest time of the year when you're looking at these average high temps. 83, by contrast, is the warmest time of the year. That's right in the middle of July. So makes sense there that the middle of July would be the warmest time of the year for us. So when you lay out all of our average high temps over the course of a year, it follows a curve that kind of looks like this. So you can say that we're actually right about to pass the very bottom of the curve here. So in a couple of days on February 4th, once that average high will start to go back up to 30 and then 31 and 32, we are technically on the upside there of the average high temps for the year here. So if you are hoping for a sliver of hope as far as approaching springtime, well, at least again, technically the average high temp starts to increase again in a couple of days. So we'll have officially past the coldest time of the year. Now, Great Lakes ice coverage still doing pretty good overall. It's about 33%, so still much more than the same day last year. That number has decreased for a couple of days this week, though. The only reason, mainly because of Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, and even Lake Erie, there have been some ice flows moving around. So some of the loss of ice on those lakes is bringing down that collective total. But Saginaw Bay, of course, still doing decent with the ice out there, mostly covered in ice. Saginaw River also in pretty good shape. I've still seen a lot of ice fishers out there on the Saginaw River, especially right by 1st Street here in Saginaw. Before this morning, we've had some flurries out there. There's a Snowfest in Frankenmuth, a live look, day number 2 of Snowfest for today. So we do expect a couple of flurries to be around Frankenmuth from time to time, but also during the afternoon, you could have a few peaks of sun in between any flurries. But again, cold day, only up to about 12 degrees in Frankenmuth. Here's that flurry chance on the first alert hour by hour. So notice just how isolated, how light any of that snowfall would be too. And then once we go into tonight, those flurries will leave. We could actually see a period of clear skies, especially late tonight, which means the coldest night of the week is going to be ahead. We have a low of -5 tonight, 9 for the high tomorrow. So tomorrow, also the coldest day of the week, mostly in the teens this weekend. But then once we go into next week, we'll see the 20s a bit more commonly.
All right, across Michigan, people are sounding an alert in Lansing, calling on lawmakers to use caution when handling the rising number of data center projects in our state. And it's because those centers can consume massive amounts of electricity. An expert with the conservative Heartland Institute tells members of the State House they could strain valuable resources, saying new technology like artificial intelligence and electric vehicles are increasing demand without the supply to back it up.
Data centers demand extraordinary reliability, a framework that prioritizes capacity value, fuel security, and firm generation helps ensure that load growth does not erode system resilience. Reliability failures are not abstract. They lead to emergency costs, higher rates, and public frustration.
The Heartland Institute says policymakers need to act to curb the center's negative impact, suggesting special tariffs on large energy loads and also some guidelines aimed at ensuring costs of operation are not passed on to people and businesses.
More local news now. A new investment in Genesee County may help some homeowners avoid foreclosure. The Rocket Community Fund awarded the Treasurer's Office a grant worth $100,000. The money will help expand property tax exemption assistance and strengthen foreclosure prevention efforts for eligible homeowners.
A new investment for the oldest building in downtown Midland. The state's awarding $1.4 million towards renovating the Oddfellows building, which has been standing there since 1876. That money will go toward developing the site to include 5 apartments, including a 2-story townhouse.
Happening today, Zender's Snowfest in Frankenmuth continues with some fun activity for local sculptors. I got a chance to check out some of these sculptures currently in progress yesterday. Today, high schoolers are showing off their carving skills beginning at 9 a.m. at the River Place shops. And teams of sculptors will continue their work right outside the square outside Bavarian Inn. You can come in from the cold for chicken and a dueling piano show at Zender's Dining Room at noon. Stick around for bingo starting at 1. If you can't make it out today, Snowfest runs through Sunday.
A surprise for pizza lovers in Saginaw. Uno Pizzeria and Grill at Town Center Road is celebrating its grand reopening today. That restaurant is now under new ownership. It'll be open from 4 to 8, and the first 50 tables in the door get free pizza. There will also be some special prizes for customers. A ribbon cutting ceremony starts at 5. And women-owned businesses are teaming up to give you a chance to shop till you drop while benefiting foster children. The Foster Families Navigation and Resource Center is organizing Women's Night tonight in Freeland. The theme is 80s for the ladies. It includes cocktails, mocktails, music, and more. It starts at 6 at the back Orchard Barn, and that's on Wilkinson Road. Tickets range in price from $5 to $10. You can get tickets by going to hot links at WNEM.com.
All right, we want to check in with Matthew now for one more look at your first alert weather.
And our forecast here certainly still very cold. This Arctic blast is the big story. First alert 7-day forecast here does show a high of only 9 for tomorrow. So that should be the coldest day of the week. We'll be back to the 20s for next week, and we also do have a couple of snow shower chances Monday and Wednesday. But even today and tomorrow, we do expect a few flurries, kind of like yesterday.
All right. Well, we appreciate it. Bundle up and stay warm. Thanks so much for joining us live for TV5 Morning Extra.
You can find us right back here for TV5 News at 9. We'll see you then.